Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is good or garbage. I don't know, but we're going to find out because that is what I do as the headless headhunter. This person said they just graduated and unfortunately they don't have any internship experience. Are they cooked or not? We're going to find out. I just changed pretty much everything after watching some of your videos, so I don't know how well this version does. So if you want to know at home if your resume is good or garbage, you can tell by the ratio. The ratio is how many applications it takes to get an interview. If you get one interview per 50 applications, your resume is fine. If it takes you more than 50 applications to get an interview, your resume is bad. And my advice gets people a 1 interview per 7 application ratio, with a little bit of an asterisk for remote and internationals. So I'm here to tell you if this resume is bad, how to fix it so that you can get a 1 in 7 ratio and get a job. So this person stated they used my methods and they don't know what if it works. So let's see if they actually used my methods, which, spoiler alert, I don't think they did. What do we need for a software engineer? Well, a software engineer, you need to pick a stack or you get rejected. That is how it works. You need to be full stack, AI engineer, Python backend, Java backend, C#.NET backend, or front end. Those are the 6 stacks that you need to choose. If you are not one of those stacks, there are typically not enough jobs to actually get, well, a job. So yes, there are other roles you can do like COBOL and Ruby on Rails, but they're not enough in the market. So instead of randomly deciding what stack this is, I'm going to pick Java because it has been a minute since I've done a Java developer. So what do we need for a Java developer? Well, we need this stuff. And you may be thinking, well, Lee, what if this person isn't a Java developer? And my response to that is, it doesn't matter. The market will tell you you need to pick a stack and you need to follow that. I do not like the game that we play, but if you do not play the game, you do not get a job. So what we need for a Java developer is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Maven, SDLC, SQL, RESTful API or REST APIs, microservices, CI/CD, object-oriented programming, Git, Linux, Unix, Agile, Scrum, Cloud, architecting your systems work, Hibernate, Docker, Kubernetes, and Kafka. And rare but nice to have is all that other good stuff. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need. If we cannot find it in 20 seconds, your resume is yeeted and deleted. People think this is rage bait. No, this has been the case since I started recruiting in 2015, 2016. Whatever my LinkedIn says. I don't remember if it was 15 or 16. So this has been the case for a very long time. This is not new. So 20 seconds is on the clock. And let's see if we can find it or not. And go. Oh boy, this is bad. Okay, no. Okay, engineered a software ecosystem labels on. It doesn't matter. Garbage. Designed and implemented an AI in Python for open SDKs. Okay, with speech to text, blah, blah, blah. This doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. Time. Okay, this person followed none of my advice. I'm kind of confused if I got the wrong resume. No, this is the right resume. This person stated, okay, so here's what we need to do about this resume. First off, we need to delete it. This is an awful resume. So very, very, very bad. And here's why it is bad. So first off, your formatting should look like this. This is what your formatting should look like. This is how you do it. This is the best formatting you can get. I know it looks basic and boring, but that is the point. Crazy, insane resumes get rejected. Basic and boring gets you a job. So that's first things first is the format. And I want to say I have never in my life ever seen a resume that is improved by being more than 1 column. So never make your resume more than 1 column. You don't do that ever. Then the stuff that is irrelevant in this resume. Well, again, this should fit, your education should fit on this line. This doesn't matter, 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 this doesn't matter. Then we go to here, and this is a bunch of hot dogs. So what I mean by hot dogs is I want you to imagine that you're hungry, you go to a restaurant, you ask for a hamburger, and instead of a hamburger, they give you a hot dog. And you'd be like, why? Why hot dog, not hamburger? And the waiter says, well, if you think about it, a hot dog has meat like a hamburger and a hot dog has buns like a hamburger. So if you really think about it, a hot dog and a hamburger are the same. And you would be like, no, they're not. And they would say, well, hold on. This is the best hot dog you've ever had in your life. And you'd be like, I don't care. I want a hamburger. And that is the exact same problem with this, is engineered a software ecosystem that enables non-technical users to give a real or simulated robot high-level goals through natural spoken language is completely irrelevant. That has nothing with what I'm looking for. And again, if it's not one of these, it doesn't count. Now, you may be thinking, well, hold on, Lee. If you're just keyword searching, then why wouldn't a skill section work? And what I'm going to tell you is recruiters who have been at the job for more than 4 months do not keyword search. Keyword search gets candidates rejected. Qualification searching gets them hired. And the difference is let me tell you what a keyword is first, right? This is the keyword. Recruiters do not make this. The managers do. The manager tells us these are what they're looking for. So these are keywords. But a qualification is what you've done, which is the keyword, how you did it, and a non-technical reason that you did it that your grandparent could understand. That is what it is. Also, where you've done it. So even if this person has a skill section, which they don't, which by the way, you shouldn't have a skill section. The problem is they don't have any of the stuff I still need. Now, you may be thinking again, Lee, well, they're not a Java engineer. And I said, well, they should have told me that. They need to tell me what stack you are, and you need to be able to do that. In fact, let me pull up Python, because it looks like they're a Python dev. Now, these are a little bit outdated. I might actually change these for the rest of the video, but I do this live. So what we would need for a Python dev, right, at least in the last 3 months, is Python, SQL, any Docker, Cloud, RESTful API, REST APIs, Git, CI/CD, and then it breaks down into agentic work or full stack, and then nice to have is fast API. So this is the problem with this, is it only has 2 things I'm looking for, Python and AI. And again, OpenAI Agents SDK is good, although people may not always know that, but that is good. The problem is it's only 2 things. And I don't really know why this was important. Remember, I don't just want the what, I want the why. Why was it important to imbue the robots with complex decision-making abilities and complete autonomy? What was the purpose of doing that? Why did you do that? I don't know. You didn't tell me. So this resume is garbage. They did not follow my methods at all. In fact, I don't think I've seen anything they have followed anything of my methods. This is what your resume should look like. This is how you do it. And again, it needs to be tailored to a job title, and I just don't see it, right? Like the only keywords I see are here, and you didn't explain why you did them. And the rest of this is, here's Git, which is only 1. By the way, I recommend you have between 3 to 6 keywords in each bullet point. If a bullet point can't have 3 keywords minimum, it shouldn't exist. So my problem with this is, there's just not enough. Well, I hate saying this. There's not enough keywords in general, but the keywords that you do have, you didn't tell me why you did them in a good way. Like, worked alongside a dynamic team of 3 to 6 designing software architecture, planning implementation, pair programming, and tracking our work with Git and GitLab. Why? Why did you do that? I don't know. You didn't tell me. So this doesn't count, even though you have Git, which is something I would want for, I believe, Java, but not Python. Yeah. So again, it's not even something I would want for Python, but it is something I would want for Java. Let me just, nope, there it is. Yeah, we want it for both. My bad. I don't memorize these. There's a reason I have these written down. You cannot memorize all of these. So my problem is just there's nothing here. And then down here you have like full stack, but you don't tell me what the full stack is. Like, is it Java, script, HTML, CSS? I don't know. You would need that. And then you have down here, which is actually 3 keywords. But again, why do I care that you designed and implemented a scalable database with atomic CRUD in Python? What was the point of that? I don't know. So the reason this resume fails is multifaceted. 1, the formatting is atrocious. B, when they too, when they have they don't have enough stuff that I'm looking for, right? Like I still need about 75% of these. And when they did actually write these down, they don't tell me how they did it, so it doesn't count. Because you need to tell me why you did it, right? The why is the most important thing of this resume. The why is the impact. And people try to put numbers on it. You don't want numbers. You want to see what you did, how you did it, and the reason for the business that you did it. And I don't know why you did any of these for the business. And you may be thinking, well, Lee, these are projects. Cool. There's still a point with projects. So I need you to take this resume and delete it, because this is nothing in this makes me happy. Nothing in this is my methods. And I'm going to need you to change the formatting. I'm going to need you to pick a stack and then tailor your resume to that stack, and then tell me why you did what you did that a non-technical person could understand, so the manager can move you forward. That is what you need to do. So is this resume good? No, this is a garbage resume. And there is a reason. Well, we don't actually know their ratio, but I imagine this is getting rejected left and right, because there's just nothing on here that anybody would want. So make those changes, fix the formatting, add the keywords, and then most importantly, tell me why you use those keywords and why it worked for the business in a way that your grandparent can understand. And then you will start getting more interviews. But before we go to the next resume, I just want to say thank you very much for watching to my members. My members, y'all are the reason I can keep doing this. Your financial support lets me review these and keep this completely free for everybody. So thank you very much for your support. And if anybody wants to be a member to support this channel, they can join in the link below. They get access to the past live streams after they get deleted on Twitch after 2 weeks, which is automatic. I cannot change that. So they get access to the past live streams and access to these episodes before anybody else. But if anybody wants their resume reviewed, you can join the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both YouTube and Twitch at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. Just type !raffle to get yourself enrolled into the raffle to determine who gets reviewed, because the first one I pick, the next 4 are all random. And with that said, let's go to the next resume, which will be, I don't know. We're going to find out. This is an IT help desk role. So what do we need for an IT help desk support? We need Mac OS, Linux, Android, Windows. You don't need all of those, but you do need to specify which ones you have. Like even working on one of these roles recently, which was one of my more recent roles, you need to specify. If you do not specify that you know basically the operating system, they will assume you do not have it. So, which is again one of the big rules of resume creation is if you do not show it, it is assumed you do not have it. You have to show everything. If it is assumed you have it, you don't have it. So then we need the education, which can be a high school diploma as well for this. Customer service, troubleshooting, problem solving, explaining tech to non-tech audience, networking, DNS, DHCP, TCP, IP, VPN, multitask, meet deadlines, industry, so like Azure or LAN WAN or CRM work. What are you like help desking for? Was it a B2B project? I don't know. You need to tell me. Jira, Office, Microsoft 365, Active Directory, Slack, Zendesk. Again, you don't need all of those. You just need 1 or 2 of those. And then bonus for CompTIA and a couple of other certs and PowerShell. So is this a good or garbage resume? We do not know. They are searching for IT help jobs with no experience necessary. They're still working on their CompTIA cert, but they are switching from a long history in retail, but you don't want to be overqualified for these types of roles. So let's see if this is good or garbage. And boop, 20 seconds on the clock and go. Okay, that's fine. Skills, nope, doesn't count. Welcome customers or product based on performance. This is not what I'm looking for. That one I could want. I don't want that. That I do want. Assign loans to department. Wait, what? What? Okay, time. Okay, so there's a couple of like fundamental problems with this resume. The first thing is I don't see any of the skills. Again, you cannot write a skill section. I need to see how you've done it. Now, you may have done this in like a project, and that's fine, but I need to see them. Also, we don't want to say a summary. You can say transitioning to this is fine to say, but like again, stop with these. Why do you do these? Why do people do these lines? I don't know why people do these lines. These lines make it so much worse. And then your education should still be up here. Education is a requirement in these jobs, and again, that could be a high school diploma, but in this case, you've got a bachelor's, so you should put that up. You've also got, let's see, the problem is so I don't know if people can fully see these because they're fully on the bottom, but they have some certs here. The problem is I don't know if these certs are what they're going to be looking for. They have a CSTEP cybersecurity workshop, which might be acceptable, but then they have a JP Morgan software engineering virtual experience, which means nothing, and then they have another code path cybersecurity. Those are not quite what we're looking for. I think one cybersecurity cert is fine, and then they also, again, they graduate in a bachelor's with a. Why are you putting this at the bottom? This is a requirement. Like the fact that you're looking for help desk roles is fine. You can get help desk roles from this. This is relevant experience. But my problem is I don't see any of the tech. And I know people are saying, but you deleted it all. Yeah, because that doesn't count. I need to see how you did it. I need to see why you did it. And then here, you don't need these. I don't think you need these at all. I think you need the first one, which is really good. Let's see. Hold on. This one I might have just saw something, but that was from 2010. No, you know what? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I see this. So this was 2010, 2019, and this was 2015 to current. I think you only need this one. Okay, so here's what I would do. Yeah, no, well, because iPod has information. Problem is that was so long ago. I don't think that's even relevant anymore. Yeah. So this is what we want you to do. We want you to keep this, right? Because this shows that you can work at the same place for a long time. Companies love that. They are in absolute love with longevity as an employee, and you have proved that you can. The problem I have here is most of these bullet points are bad. So I want you to be specific in what you say here, because you could, in fact, have one or two bullet points. I don't want to see just resolved complaints. I want to see solved customers' problems by communicating refund exchanges, processing credit card debts, and recommending products based on their preferences. Again, I also want to see that you coach them, right? Like, this is a prime opportunity to show the social skills your projects are not going to have. This is a thing where you can say explained, like, I don't want you to say communicate refund. I want you to say communicated technical, an annoying technical refund process in a simple manner so that customers could understand it easily, which resulted in high reviews or something. Like, there is a bullet point or two that you could put here, but you need to be specific about it. And then the rest of it is going to be projects, because I need to see how you use this. Because right now, this is what your resume looks like. And if you notice, it's almost entirely blank, besides this really, really good green flag right here. So I need you to show how you've done networking, how you've multitasked, how you've done the industry work, how you've done Jira Office 365 Active Directory, how you've done customer service and solved people's problems, even if it wasn't in tech, how you explain technical things to non-tech people, even if that technical thing is not tech-based. So that is part of the reason this resume doesn't work, is it just doesn't have anything on it. Next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. We don't fully know their ratio, but they think it's about 1 in 50, which is a C minus. That means it does pass, right? Barely, but it does pass. So I'm expecting there to be enough things here that I can move them forward on a very few amount of requisitions, but not all of them. So what do we need for a full stack dev? We need degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I'm not doing this again. If you do not have TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, you are in for a bad time. It does not matter how basic it is. It matters that you have it. SQL, Cloud, Backend, Python, React Native, Git, GitHub, CI/CD, Agile, DevOps, extra credit for all that good stuff. So, let's see what they do and do not have. Again, I'm expecting some of this stuff to be here. 20 seconds is on the clock. And go. Okay, this doesn't know. Multi-threading using sensor weapon under heavy load. Kind of a good why, though. Added end of Python text pipeline to expand automate covered connections. Script configuration errors to catch regressions. Not understandable by layman. Enhance React led by what's MongoDB. Playing methods in real time. Again, why? Implemented no improvement so large controlling full bound of pages, but why? And the CSD and C. I can see why this is getting moved forward in some cases. It's again, this is a very C minus resume. Like, I can understand why it can pass. I don't know if it would pass for a ton of full stack roles, but I could see this passing for some Python roles. So, what do we do? First off, relevant coursework is deleted too much. First off, formatting. It should look like this. Not this, this. Not this, this. This, not this. So, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter. Your degree does, so it's good that you had it. But that should be on one line, and it should be italicized, not bolded. Then we go down to here, and again, this should be one line, italicized, not bolded. And my problem is I just don't see the full stack. Again, Node is not typically enough. I want to see improved the multi-threading and error and missile defense using C++, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, so that, again, I want this to be a little more explainable to a layman. Like, why was it important to exchange data under heavy load? I don't know. You didn't tell me. You need to tell me. Added end-to-end Python test cases to GitLab, CI/CD, comma, please put the commas in. GitLab, comma, CI/CD pipelines to expand automated coverage connections. Again, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Enhanced React live table messaging by adding WebSockets from this doesn't really have anything I'm looking for. And then this again is why did you do it? So again, you have some almost understandable whys and you just don't have enough of what I'm looking for. Like, I need TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I need SQL, which I don't think I saw. I need Cloud. Those are the big ones that I'm missing. So if you add those and then you tell me why you did it, because remember, improving sensors, why is it important to improve sensors? Why was it important to improve weapon load data? Is it so the missiles won't explode early? I don't know. I have no idea. This military tech beyond my knowledge. I think that's very clear. Why did you do that? I don't know. You need to tell me. Why was it important to add end-to-end Python test cases? What would have gone wrong if you did not catch regressions? I don't know. You didn't tell me. So that is why this resume is barely getting interviews. That and the fact you have some mid. Yeah, this is a very C minus resume. But like, you do have some whys. They're just not understandable to everyone, and you just are missing a few of the things that I want. Primarily Cloud, the actual full stack, and SQL. So if you add those in and you fix the formatting, you should be getting a lot more interviews. Next resume. This is a full stack software engineer. So What do we need for this? We already know TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. This person has told me they have a terrible ratio, but that is all they told me. So I don't know what else is here. So 20 seconds is on the clock. And go. Okie dokie. Degree good. Using okay. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Time. I'm done. If I go through all of that, I'm not going through more. This person doesn't seem to have it. If I have to go through 6 bullet points and you don't have anything I need in those 6 bullet points, I'm going to assume that you don't have it in the rest of it. Not necessarily me as a recruiter, but the normal person would. So yeah, this is not it. So first things first, formatting is, again, could be fixed, but it's not the worst. It's like a C- formatting. So remember, none of these lines, I don't know why everybody puts these lines. I swear, why do people care about these lines? These lines just make it harder. Look at this. It's already better. You just don't want to bold this. You put it in italicization. So italicize that. Then we get here, and my problem here is, I mean, I see some AI stuff, but where's anything related to full stack? This is the reason you're getting 150 to 1, is they're looking at this and they're going, okay, Pydantic, all right, OpenAI, SQL, and then what did you do? And that one's okay. That's a good why, but it only has one thing I'm looking for. So like, okay, maybe the next bullet point will have more. And then you say worked on a scalable ingestion pipeline supporting Markdown, HTML, which I want to be clear, because you sandwiched it between stuff that I don't care about, probably going to miss it. So HTML, garbage, doesn't matter because you already mentioned SQL. And an internal documentation format using SHA-256, eliminating redundant processing and accelerating knowledge synchronization. What is that? What is accelerating knowledge synchronization? I be real with me. Is that a real thing, or did you just make that up to sound nice? Because I think you made that up. Accelerating knowledge synchronization. Maybe it's something to do with the AI's knowledge base and internal LLMs, but this means nothing. And then there's literally nothing else I need here. Like, you can't get a job by only mentioning 2 or 3 things. Again, I want to say your first sentence, I'm going to give it a 2. This is a 2 out of a possible 3 keywords. They had AI, OpenAI, and PostgreSQL. And this is a mostly successful, and you need 3 keywords to make it fully successful. But this is a good why, right? This is to receive context-aware answers. That is understandable to the layman. But the rest of this doesn't matter. And again, people are going to miss that HTML. Like, you have sandwiched it between stuff I don't care about. So why is it that you are a full stack dev and I don't see absolutely anything involving full stack except HTML? In fact, I don't see anything involving backend. I don't see anything involving RESTful APIs or React or Git or GitHub or CI/CD or Agile or DevOps or cloud. Same thing with this. Who cares about the AI? Who cares about any of that? You already mentioned it enough. You're trying to put in more and more AI and make yourself sound impressive when you're missing the basics. It's like showing up to an interview with the most fancy shirt and you're like, you spent all the time you ever had on this shirt to make sure this shirt is clean and pressed and shiny and new, and you show up to the interview without pants. Where's the basic stuff? I don't know where you went. You showed up to the interview without pants. Where is the TypeScript, the JavaScript, the CSS? Where is the RESTful API, the REST API? Where's this the cloud? Where's any backend? The TypeScript, the React, the Git, the GitHub, the CI/CD? I don't know. It is all blank. This is what your resume looks like, and no one's going to hire you based on this. This is it. You need to explain why you did what you did, like you did here, which again, I like this. This is a very good why. If you want to know how to say a why good, it's this. This good why. Good why this good why. But where is everything else? You cannot get a job without mentioning 75% of these and then explaining why you did them. So your resume is blank. You are not getting a job because you submitted a single piece of paper that said, I can use OpenAI and PostgreSQL. And no one's going to give you a job based on that. So I need you to put in what we actually want, because again, if it's a hot dog, we don't care about it. Hot dogs don't matter. Hamburgers are the only thing that gets you hired. And you may be thinking, but these are so much nicer. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You ever tried making something a fancy meal for somebody that doesn't like something? It doesn't matter how much time you spend on it. They're not going to give anything. They don't care. It's not what they want. I despise the taste of peanuts. I hate peanuts. If something tastes like peanuts, it doesn't matter how bad how good it is. I will not want it. So you need to focus entirely on what is relevant, not what you think is impressive. Next resume. This is an AI engineer role. We don't know their ratio. They did not tell me anything that I could use for that. I do know it's outside the US they're applying for, which is fine because my advice gets people jobs outside the US. It works in the US, Canada, Mexico, the UK, the EU, except the Netherlands, but everywhere else it works. Africa, Australia, and I believe Singapore as well, and India. So it works globally, except for the Netherlands. But yeah, it works globally, except for the Netherlands. I don't know why it doesn't work in the Netherlands. I have no idea. Who knows? So, what do we need for an AI engineer? We need degree, Python, ML, LLMs, cloud, built stuff in production, agentic systems, multi-agent systems, agentic coding, cloud code, OpenAI, Codex, Cursor, LangGraph, LangChain, Google ADK, OpenAI Agent SDK, communicate technical details to a non-technical audience, and MLOps, AI architecture, and AI orchestration. So let's see if we can find it in 20 seconds. And go. Okay, degree good. This could matter. Formatting's a little off. This doesn't matter. Value and improve the production of multi-agent pipeline original, but why? Built a debugging tool, tracing, and but why does this matter? Design and totally evaluate. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Okay, this doesn't count. This doesn't. Okay, cool. This would be a decline. Yeah, there's just nothing here, right? Like you have the first sentence is kind of okay. You have rag, but like I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how could you not? This is so obviously an AI engineer. This person is amazing. Look at all they've done. It doesn't matter. This is what matters. This is a resume that is filled with hot dogs. Do I care about critical failures presenting downstream agent execution, including routing, logging defects, prop design issues, and parsing errors, improving system recall as internal evaluation test from 40 to 84% by fixing affirmative failures by prioritizing fixes based on expected ROI? No. You know what I care about? That you have Python. I don't see Python anywhere here. Because remember, this doesn't count. Where's Python? Where's cloud? Where's it does look like you built stuff in production, so that one's good. Where's the multi-agent systems or multi-system stuff? Multi-stage RAG is not what they're really looking for. Where is the agentic coding? Where is the frameworks? And one of the most important things that everybody wants an AI engineer to have, because especially in a startup, because you're probably going to be talking directly to the customer, is can you communicate technical details to a non-technical audience? And considering you said built an N8N workflow that automated retrieval of production conversation, reconstruction, chat history, and executed NN debugging protocol against internal tracing endpoints, significantly reducing manual investigation effort, I would say no. This is all that matters. I know it's enraging, but this is all that matters. If it's not this, it doesn't matter. And you can find it for your own jobs too. Don't take my word for it. Follow the guide. It will show you how to find these for your job title. And once you start digging into this, I think you will be shocked at what is and isn't actually in the resume. And again, I can't use anything here. So yeah, it's great that they said Python. It's great that they said SQL and RAG and agentic, well, not RAG, and agentic workflow and Django and PyTorch and Hugging Face. But I can't use any of that. I can't use any of that. Also, N8N would count. I just did not get this far down because the rest of this was garbage. So I want you to delete this and I want you to start again. And again, I want you to use this formatting. You can keep this as well, the English qualifications, that's fine. And I want you to put stuff that's actually relevant because the people reading your resume, both managers, the manager and recruiter, are going to look at this and say, you know what? This person doesn't know how to do agentic work. Boop, deleted. Oh, this person doesn't know anything about Python. Boop, deleted. Oh, this person can't do cloud, which actually is a pretty big thing. We do want to see cloud, which I actually don't think you do have any cloud experience, which is pretty important. So I want you to redo this, and I want you to make it tailored to this. And again, you can look for yourself. Go ahead. Look at what actually is required. Take 15 to 20 job descriptions, compare the qualifications, not responsibilities, to each other, and look at what's common and what's not, because that's your guideline. Those are the keywords. Those are the keys to you getting a job. So that is all I can do for this resume, and that is it for this video. I just want to thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and to my members, thank you very much for your financial support. You are the reason that I can keep doing this and helping everybody else for free. So if you want to be a member and get access to the past live streams and access to videos that videos a little bit early than anybody else, you can join in the link below and become a member. But to my members, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. And to everybody, members and non-members, if you ever want your resume reviewed, you can always join the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both YouTube and Twitch at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter, and type !raffle to get entered into a free chance to win your resume review. There is a lot of competition in it, but it's completely free. And yeah, I want to make sure I can help as many people as I can. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search.